Hello, welcome back. We left off at the projectiles. Let's have a look at it again. I was remembering. They did spawn. They didn't spawn good. Or like expected. Yep, just like this. But they do spawn at least. Oop. I'm gonna have to... Okay. I didn't have my live stream in OBS. Okay, let's see. We need to have a look at this component. Since there's something off with the instantiation. Yes, update, nice. What is this? Nothing. Let's see. I'm also missing my music right now. Was this one? Yeah, it's better. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly... Yeah, I can see the music again. Okay. Let's see. This right here. 50 could be a little too much. Maybe let's tone it down to like 10. Like this. And maybe give the bullets a little hectic right now. I don't know why exactly. And let's give the bullets the timeout stuff. I'm gonna make this an export prop again. Export lifetime, yeah. Lifetime of, I don't know, let's say 2 seconds for now. Which would also translate to range of the player. Except I would code it different, but usually you could use this as a range property too, since if it just keeps flying in a direction and it will disappear at the point, then this is just like a range property. Or you will have to, I guess you would just have to like create another property like range and would have to measure the distance from the bullet to the player. Could also work, but I think that this is a little more performant. Lifetime, we're gonna put it in think process for now. Or maybe there's a timeout. Let's see. Gonna make a new tab. Godot timeout. Timeout signal. This could be timeout. I do have to get to be used a lot more with the Godot signals. Let's try this. Private timer. Good thing I have Copilot, since this makes it a little easier, because it does seem to be registering what I want to do. Lifetime timer, new timer, wait time, lifetime, and it's one shot. And I don't know about this one, but this seems to be connects the signal by name to a callable. Optional flags can be added to configure the connector's behavior. Blah blah. A signal can only be connected once the same callable if the signal is already connected. This method returns error. Okay, don't know about this. That's a lot of boilerplate just for a timer. And I don't know about this. I'm just gonna cut it. Because I think there was signal name. I think this dot. Ah, no, okay. So this is, I think this is specifically for node timeouts, node signals. Cached string names for the signals contained in this class for fast lookup. Yeah. So this is for rigid body 2D signals. I'm just a little confused since for me this doesn't seem like good practice with written out strings. Okay, what do we have here? Timeout is string name. Then we have the callable is this class, it seems. Name of... I'm very much confused. Timeout. Name of on live time. Timeout. We're gonna have a look at the godot timer. There's prediction. The timer node is a countdown timer and is the simplest way to handle time-based logic in the engine. When a timer reaches the end of its wait time, it will emit the timeout signal. After a timer enters a tree, it can be manually started with start. A timer node is also started automatically if auto start is true. Without requiring much code, a timer node can be added and configured in the editor. The timeout signal it emits can also be connected through the node dock in the editor. This one doesn't work that well for us since we are using C#. And this here is GD script. Node to create a one-shot timer without instantiating a node. Use scene tree create timer. Node. Timers are affected by engine timescale. The higher the time scale, the sooner timers will end. How often a timer processes may depend on the frame rate or engine physics ticks per second. 2D dodge the creeps demo. Let's have a look at the demo. This looks very much familiar. Maybe I did this one back in the days. It's the image, where exactly? New files. Now we're getting to the GitHub. Screenshots. How do I create the timer? This one looks pretty up to date. In Godot for this.
Alright, welcome. Alright, welcome. In this tutorial we're going to be going over 3 different ways of making a timer, and we'll start with the most common way, and then we'll kind of look at how to make a timer purely in code. Another way. So let's actually just create a timer entirely in code. And so I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this timer here. And obviously now it has no idea what timer is. So we're going to get rid of this function too, and we're going to go back to our original setup, which was Q for. So now we want to just make a timer. And how do we do that? We go here and we type var timer, and we'll make it of type timer, so our autocomplete is helpful. And we'll make a new timer dot new. So we've now made a timer object, but of course there's no
Okay, this step we already have. New timer. Wait time, this makes sense. One shot makes sense, since it should only be fired once, and then the node will be queue free. What more? Maybe we're gonna skip a little. There's the connect. Was a little too much.
Kill this guy, he's going to immediately queue free. So I've created this timer, but remember we need to connect the timer to a signal. And that's that timer timeout signal. So we'll come here and go timer.timeout. And we want to connect it to something. Now I could come back here and I can make a function.
Timer.timeout connect. Timer.timeout. This looks better. No, wait. It's like this, since this is a C# delegate. Like this, and then this is for function body, and yes, Q we're free. All right, like this. This looks better. Emit when the timer reaches the end. And it looks like this makes sense. And then we're gonna take all of this and put it in an additional function just to make it look a little more sorted. Like this, and we just have to call on live timeout. This was... gonna give credit. Donuts, 3 ways to create timers in Godot. Gonna actually copy and post it in the chat. Like this. For anyone who is gonna see this and wants to look it up too. Okay, let's test this. Maybe that's already good. Now we have a few bullets, and they're gone. Looks good. On to the next problem. We have... Oh, maybe we're just gonna make a commit right now. Keep commits small so you have better access points to get back to fix if you have to. Feed, what did we call it? Player tech. Added lifetime to player project. That's nothing more to add. With push. Okay, now we have the timeout. We're gonna have to look at the instantiation again. Global positions here also. I'm really not good with positions and stuff, which is where I'm blindly gonna try the transform. Position relative to the node's parent. See also global position. Maybe we're gonna have a look at this too, in order to understand. Godot position. A 2D game object inherited by all 2D related nodes has a position, rotation, scale, and skew. With a transform, position, rotation, and scale, all 2D nodes include physics, objects, and sprites inherit from node2D. Use node2D as a parent node to move, scale, and rotate children in a 2D project. Also gives control of the node's render order. Note, since both Node 2D and Control inherit from Canvas item, they share several concepts from the class, such as the canvas item.z-index and canvas item visible properties. Tutorials, custom drawing in 2D, all 2D demos. Okay, those are not that great. Position, introduction. Okay, we're gonna have just look at the global position. Global position. When to use position and global position. Position is the local position of the node, which is pretty much the offset from the parent's position, but global position is the world space. So if I want to instance a scene and set its position in the game scene, should I use global position? Anyone else think it should have made more sense to have position and local position? No, off topic. Position refers to the node's position in relation to its parent. Global position refers to its position in relation to the game window. Okay, so let's try a normal position, since the bullets are children of the player, which would make sense to use the relative position. Remove this, remove this, remove this. Maybe this looks better already. A little bit, yes. However, this does not make sense. Those are quite weird and are also disappearing immediately. Oh. I am confused. I'm used to write console. Print. Left is okay. Position, yeah. Let's take the global position to compare it to the player position. What do we have here? I see minus 243, minus 233. This looks like the 10 offset I put in. Height is 0. Looks good. This, however, does not look okay. Well, this also not makes sense, since I do not have this stuff. Oh man. So ugly. We got firing right, up, and down. Close this one, we have to rebuild it. So, what does it say now? Firing up. Position minus 333. 10. Looks actually right in global position, but this ain't right. So maybe let's change it to relative position. Have a look at this one. We have minus 526, 10, 0. And now I'm getting really confused. Huh? It seems like everything is okay. But it doesn't work okay. Maybe it's something else? Like this stuff here? Projectile speed direction. Do we use direction already? And this one, which also doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna just comment this, and we're gonna comment those. Look if these are making problems. It's completely going haywire. I don't know why. I should also really limit the firing rate. Let's do this for now. Process. This is gonna have to be another export. Export projectile speed. But firing rate. I don't know where this wants to go. How do I want to go about this? Oh, hello. Hello there, Apple. How do I want to go about this? I used to learn to do it like incremental values in order to go like 1 divided by the firing rate. But this makes it a little weird to display. Let's just try with this one. Firing rate, we're gonna have... What do we have? I don't know how I want to do this. Time since last shot. This looks good. And then we're gonna put all of this into a check. If... Oh, I'm right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's see if what do we have here? Time since last shot. Less than firing rate. What the hell is this? Less than firing rate. No. Other way around. More than firing rate, then this is okay. And we're gonna have... We also have to reset it. And yes. Increased by delta. Which, now that I think about it, doesn't make fucking sense, since I just coded it in Unity way. But we are in Godot, which means... Does that make sense? Let's try. I'm gonna change this one into a bool. Is firing loud into false. I'm gonna make a timer. Firing timer. Actually, we're gonna set this to true in order to be able to shoot right after spawning. And we're gonna copy the boilerplate stuff. Private void on firing timeout looks good. New timer, wait time is firing rate. This could actually be a problem later on, since maybe. No, I don't think so, because this here is something which could later on be dynamically changed. For example, you pick up an item and you want to change the firing rate to be either more or less, and then this would have to be recalled, or at least the wait time has to be adjusted, but I don't think that should be a problem. Okay, one shot, no. Is this by default false? Otherwise, as by default, the timer will automatically restart, yes. Want this, timeout, firing is allowed to true. Timer is added to the parent and is being started. So we're gonna call it here. What was it called? Fire projectile. What the fuck is this? Why is there a direction? Huh? Oh no. Ah, looked on the wrong. On firing timeout. Timeout. Now this should be connected. And this only needs is firing allowed. Yeah, I think this should be good. Let's have a look. Gonna try, gonna see. Yeah, no. This does not look right. Yeah, it doesn't look right because this one was missing. If I do not reset it, it never stopped. This looks better, more promising. I'm starting to think the local position also is not better, since it looks like the offset is getting bigger. Why ever? Maybe let's try global position again, but I'm starting to be really confused. Like this. Those are unimportant for now. No, it still scales. It scales very, very weirdly. I'm really confused. Firing right. Minus 1713, 1723. 1000. Let's stay in position for now. Okay, now I died. It's not that helpful. What we saw, the offset was not enough. If it's processed correctly. Instantiate the scene's node hierarchy, triggers child scene instantiations, triggers a node notification scene, instantiate a notification on the root node. I don't know what could be the problem here. Maybe let's ask the internet again. Instantiate relative to player. Trouble instantiating object on player. So I'm pretty new to Godot, but I've been doing a lot of research and I can't tell what I'm doing wrong here. My goal is to simply instantiate an object at the player's position. I have the object as its own scene. I am able to successfully call a function, set a temporary var to preload the object I want instantiated. I then do var instance object.instantiate, set the position to the player's position, and then add child instance, which seems to perfectly follow tutorials I've seen, yet nothing happens. I attached an image showing my exact code. I do not see this so-called image. Then do wrong order. Wrong order, really? Looks like the image, blah. That's the wrong order. Instance at set. What? Nah. Can't set the position of something that's not in the tree and expect useful result. Oh, okay, so it's not in the scene tree yet without being added. Oh my god. Nah, please don't. Please don't tell me that's it. That looks really counterintuitive to me. Oh my god. It's really... It's upside down. It's really a code order. What the hell? Then, I think I'm gonna have to revisit my wave stuff, my spawning system, since I think I made it wrong there too. Okay, that's interesting. Good thing I'm learning. That is really good to know. We're gonna make a summary here. First project in a specified direction, and then we're gonna add the newly learned knowledge. Order for instantiation. First, instantiate. Second, add child. Third, set position. Weird stuff. Very weird stuff. Okay, let's adjust the... Oh no, I was wondering why they spawn the opposite, but these... Don't tell me Y is going down, please. Please don't tell me Y is going down. I don't like that. And 50 was not enough. Maybe let's go with... I think 100 would be too much, maybe 80. Magic numbers right now, but I wouldn't do more than create a constant integer variable, since where they spawn is actually also variable. Could also be an item. I'm thinking of... I don't even know how it's called. From the Binding of Isaac, the item which makes Little Planet. I think Little Planet was it. Which makes your bullets... Little Planet... Isaac. Or Tiny Planet or something. Tiny Planet. Which makes your bullets actually not spawn somewhere else, but could also be an item effect for later on. I think this is the best I can find right now. Usually it's just this blast, but with Tiny Planet it goes around the player. Okay, but we found the solution to our problems. Jesus Christ. Someone is doing stuff outside. Okay, 80 is very close. And we go with 85, so we have just a little bit of space. And I'm gonna make the constant right now. It's easier than to change everything multiple times. Thinking about... I should also revisit... I don't even know how it's called anymore. Code... The rules for how to write. Because I think I'm not doing everything best, but doesn't matter for now. Const, what do we call it? Instance offset 85. self-explanatory. Could actually... Doesn't make much sense, but just gonna do it. 0. Minus... it's offset. It's 0, and the last one. 0. We also don't need those prints anymore. And this should look good. Except... oh no, I have to detach them. Since they are children of the component, they will follow the component, which is why they stuck to me. Add child. And then we have to detach this somehow. Oh god. I don't know how to do that. So, attach child. Remove child. What's this question? Is remove child the proper way to remove objects from the scene? The node you remove still is stored in memory and therefore also takes up memory space. This is beneficial if you quickly want to add the node back into the scene at a later point. But if you would do this to all your nodes, you might run out of memory at some point. Q3. No. How to remove a node on ready via remove child. Q3 and remove child. Godot. Add to scene tree. To add a node to the scene tree in Godot, you can use the add child method. Oh, from get tree. Maybe this one, since the tree doesn't move. So instead of get parent, we're gonna do get tree. Return to scene tree. Dot root. The tree's root window. What? Not be used like a method. Oh, okay. Maybe like this. And then global position also makes sense. Okay. We do see movement at least. But I do not want them to have what's it called? Gravity scale. Oh, not negative. Please do not flow upside float. mass, lifetime, physics, material, override. Constant forces. The body's total constant positional forces applied during each physics update. Let's see. If I... Wait a minute. If I remove the mass... I'll set it to... Okay, you can actually not put it to 0. But I do not want to set this one to 0, but the friction, so it never loses its momentum. Linear? What the hell is solver? Custom integrator. Continuous collision detection mode. Deactivation. Block rotation, freeze mode. Mass distribution. Oh god. Maybe let's reactivate this stuff. Apply this. And comment this. And let's hope for the best, I guess. So it's like we're dropping mines. Also looks not right with how it interacts. Which one was it? Transform. Oh god, I don't remember. Transform doesn't make sense. Input. Collision. I'm stupid. 5. Also only interact with 5. I remember I put enemy hitboxes on 5. Yeah, better. Now we can move through our bullets. The only thing missing is the movement. Applies a directional impulse without affecting rotation. An impulse is time independent. Applying an impulse every frame would result in a frame rate dependent force. For this reason, it should only be used when simulating one-time impacts. Center of mass. Direction, what is projectile speed? Is this? Gonna print the direction, because if this is 0, then of course nothing happens. Yeah, it's 0. Why exactly is it 0? Because it's being added here and only... okay, maybe we're not gonna do it in ready. But in a custom public function, void initialize. Let's just call it initialize. Take these. Just gonna let it stay. Don't need this one. And we're gonna call it here. Initialize. Oh, look at this. We can shoot. And it seems like... Oh, I'm gonna have to change the enemy too. Collision shape. Don't need transform. This does not have a collision stuff. Oh, this is on 2, so maybe the player does not... No, it interacts with 2. Okay. And I have to look into this one too. But we have working projectiles. And my Studio is frozen in. Hello? Gonna have to look where the reload button is. Hang on. Reload. I don't know. Should probably make a hotkey on my Stream Deck. Doesn't matter. Okay, so maybe let's adjust the projectile speed a little. Give it more force, more power. That is not that much more power. Also a little confused why this actually works. Check that speed. Gonna have to see what this creates. Oh, it works again. I just had to go outside the camera. Estimated force is 200. Hmm. 200. How exactly does it come to this? gd.print. One multiplied by 500 equals 200. Maybe I should make this to another vector. Which doesn't work that well. But actually, I'll just do it like this, since one of both properties is gonna be 0. for now this works because of the 4 directions. Wouldn't work with 8 directions, I think. Wouldn't it? Could actually work with 8 directions too. Meaning in all directions, since I get the normalized vector and I just multiply both values. Yeah, should work. But it seems like I'm stupid, because it still does not change anything. So yeah, it does not change anything since I did it in the... Oh, wrong one. In the debug print. Oh, projected speed. Okay. Does not move faster at all. What if I try another function? Linear velocity. The body's linear velocity in pixels per second can be used sporadically, but don't set this every frame. Well, we don't. Let's try this. If this works, it's probably gonna shoot like a lightning bolt. But it does not. The body's linear velocity in pixels per second. Can be used sporadically, but don't set this every frame because physics may run in another thread and runs at a different granularity. Use rigid body integrate forces as your process loop for precise control of the body state. I'm really confused. Why does it not seem to increase in speed? Apply. Try central force maybe. I think this could also work, just like this one, which is why it accepts it. Oh man, that's even slower. Happens at all. Applies a directional force without affecting rotation. The force is time dependent, meant to be applied every physics update. Difficult. That's why I initially took a central force. Apply sample impulse. Apply impulse. Applies a positioned impulse to the body. So what do you want? The impulse. Position is the offset from the body origin and global coordinates. Do not need this. Direction times projected speed. Let's try this one. This looks not much faster. But this also is probably not much of a difference to... Oh, wrong central impulse. Impulse without affecting rotation. Impulse is time dependent. Because this seems to just do the same. And I'm still very confused. Maybe if we consult the documentation again. Just body 2D. This one looks good too. Hello, I want to make a top-down shooter with boxes you can push around in Godot 4, but the character body 2D can't push my box and just stops. I use the move and slide function. This does not seem like it concerns us. Center of mass, constant force. Constant force. Was ist das? Constant force. The body's total constant positional force is applied during each physics update. This sounds like a velocity. Is it getting faster? Yeah, it gets faster because it's reapplied. Constant torque. Rotational forces, no. Don't want to rotate this thing. If I do this, doesn't make sense, but no, doesn't make sense. Because if I add this vector, it's always gonna be, it's always gonna be positive, since this will always only return 0, 1 or 1, 0, and then there's 500 added to it. So that does not make sense too. Maybe it's somewhere in these? Mass. Linear velocity. Damp mode. What? Defines how a linear damper is applied. See damp mode for possible values. Combine. In this mode, the body's damping value is added to any value set in areas or the default value. Replace. In this mode, the body's damping value replaces any value set in areas or the default value. Damp is 0. So this can't affect us really. Angular shouldn't be important, since this is probably for rotation again. Best bet would be linear velocity. Linear velocity. The body's linear velocity in pixels per second can be used sporadically, but don't set this every frame, because physics may run in other threads and run at different granularity. I'm just gonna test around now. This also looks interesting. Does not contain. Is it not possible to That's interesting. Okay. Cannot access the singular components. I'm gonna make this one, so it's gonna be 500, 500. So it's gonna fly downwards. Its Y is down, which is very weird. If I increase this now, I can actually make this a export to. Oh. Build. We see it's 500, so I'm gonna put it to 1000. And it's not faster. I am, again, very much confused. Let's see. Godot. Linear velocity doesn't change speed. Maybe. What about this one? Oh god, it's bright. Do I have a dark mode? No. I call float speed linear velocity dot length. That is something. The strange thing is that the speed does not go down to 0. It stops at about. This does not look like anything I need. Lose gravity when setting linear velocity. No, I cannot read. Oh, closed it. Though increase linear velocity. Apply central force. In some case, you might need to limit the linear velocity to prevent it from becoming too high. This can be done by checking the current velocity and clamping it if necessary. But we did not do anything like this. This is central force, but force is meant to be done in repeat. Also, do my bullets not have hurt box? They do. Damage 1. Interact with... Oh yeah, I didn't make any functionality for it. Oh. Out questioned. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Gonna make a commit for now. I think we're gonna tackle this one next time. Because one of the best things I have learned is if you're stuck at a problem, try again sometime later. It's gonna solve itself sometime. Not feed, but fix, I think. collision layer changed. This is the attack script. This should be a fix, I think. No, it's actually a feat. Actually a feat. Actually both, but I'm gonna still call it a feature. Player attack. Wait. Did I want to call it feature? Ah, firing rate. Edit firing rate. Actually, a few more things, but doesn't matter for now. Push. That's it from here. That's it from me too. And I think we're gonna see us again on Wednesday. Have a good time, thank you for watching, and see you again.